Stottlemyers Smokehouse, filmed in location and made possible by Kayaking SRQ.
Spotlight! We're here at my favorite #1 barbecue, Stottlemyers Smokehouse. Chef Mitch, let's get right to it and talk about what we're going to be featuring here today.
Today we're going to be doing a brisket, and we're also going to be doing a pork butt. So first we're going to be starting off by kind of trimming some of the fat off our brisket so that this way we're having a much leaner product for the customers and not overloading on fat. You basically want to keep probably about a 1/4 inch of fat on the top part, and then on the bottom side as well there's some silver skin, and there's some excess fat too that needs to be trimmed prior to going into the smoker.
Got it. Now, the technique, how does it all come into play, and about how long does it take to put in that smoker?
It could take briskets, depending on the size. This is a small one. It could go anywhere from 8 to 14 hours. Once we get it set up, after we clean it, we're going to put rub on it. And then what we would do is let it sit for probably 8 to 10 hours with the rub on it prior to going into the smoker.
And I know one of the big things that Stottlemyers here in Sarasota locally takes a lot of pride in is that choice cut of meat.
Yes, we use a upper 2/3 choice, which is basically one step away from prime. So it has good marbling and a lot of good flavor in it as well.
Let's talk a little bit about that award-winning rub, because you got to have the best rub for that meat, right?
That is very true. Without the rub, you really don't have good tasting meat.
Okay, let's get to it. So, something special about the rub?
It's proprietary just for us, so this is not available elsewhere. It is not even made in this state.
Wow, incredible.
It's got a variety of spices: paprika, cayenne pepper, onion, garlic, and then a few other trade secrets as well that we can't discuss right now.
All right, let's get to rubbing.
Basically, you want a good liberal amount of rub. You kind of, it's whatever doesn't stick on it, you're fine. So it's kind of hard to overdo it.
That smell.
Basically, we'll get the underside done. We'll flip it over. Another liberal amount on top. And then we would set it aside, and we put it in the cooler for anywhere for 8 to 10 hours prior to cooking.
And another feature that you have here
Is our pork butt. We use a bone-in pork butt, also a pork shoulder. It's not really from the butt. Same thing with this. Liberal amount of rub.
Again, select meats.
Yeah, I mean, we use a quality product that we get from our vendor. And it's one of those things, once you find the right product, you stay with it, because in this business, consistency is everything.
All right, exciting. We got it all rubbed out there.
Now it's time to put it in the smoker.
How long do we keep it in the smoker?
Pork butt and the brisket are actually cooked overnight here. So pork butt's about 8 to 10 hours. That could vary anywhere from 8 to 14 hours. We also have some ribs that are cooking, which we're not going to do today, but maybe at another time.
All right.
So basically, when you're loading your brisket, fat side always needs to be up. If it's down, the fat does not seep into the meat. The fat is what makes things taste better.
By the way, people come from miles around for those ribs, too, I must say.
Yes.
They love the ribs.
They are popular. So we'll get both of them in the smoker. And in a normal day, we would say good night, and we'll see you in the morning.
All right, the magic of TV. Here we go. Man, that smell. Oh, man, that is
Basically,
so
it's done
delicious smelling. All
First,
right.
we have our pork butt. The key to knowing when your pork butt is done is two things. It should be about 165 degrees internal, and that bone comes out clean.
Oh, my God, not just clean, but did you see how easy that came out? Which means tender. Right?
Yes, tender, and it's done. Then what we would do is we're going to take it up. What we usually do is we'll give it a quick chop. And then because we've now exposed all that meat, we want more flavor. So we're going to, again, add some additional rub for flavor. and then they will pull it ready and get ready for service. And then now we will go to our brisket. Now brisket's got two muscles on it. This is called the point. This is called the flat. Point is where your marble comes from. Your flat is where your lean comes from. For me, I've always cleaned them, believe it or not, this way. You just literally could run your hand right down the meat and expose it. So now you got your lean and you got your fat. What we do with this, we'll trim up that internal fat because we do not want to serve that to customers. And then for service, we cut it in pieces and then we will slice it for the table.
And again, how long do you leave this in the smoke?
This one today was about 10 hours because it's a smaller one, but there's sometimes you'll get some that are twice the size of that. Those will take 14 hours.
By the way, how do you keep it from drying out, being in for so long?
Well, if you see that char on the outside, it's also kind of a crust, a seal that holds everything in there. They call that the bark in the barbecue business. That's where it holds a lot of flavor, but it also keeps the inside from getting overdone. When these are done, you're looking at about 202 degrees. There is a couple of different ways of doing it where some people wrap it, but here you can see the difference between your lean and your marbled.
All right, I'm going to try a piece in closing right here. Give me a little piece here. Oh, man. When I tell you it falls off the bone, well, there's no bone, but man.
But I'm going to tell you right now,
So moist.
try that.
All right.
The marbled is where all the real flavor's at.
Oh, that crunch.
Yeah, that's that bark on the outside.
Man. If you want to know why Stottlemyers is award-winning, this is why. Come taste it. You're going to love it. Thank you so much, Chef. Spotlight, back to you.